This is my 13 kilo lifter, Strange Young Man. And despite coming second in last year's Havoc, he had a flaw. Nice. Could you tell what it is from that clip? Let's take a look at another one. That's right, he doesn't lift. So today we're going to fix that. This video is sponsored by PCBWay. So why doesn't he lift? Has he been skipping arm day? Unlikely. I think it comes down to this, which is of course the bracket that held up the motor for the weapon. And that means that it was basically holding all of this weight cantilevered off this. And this is just 3mm cheese grade aluminium from my local hardware store. And right now it is bent every single direction. There is not a flat surface remaining on this thing. Everywhere it can bend, it has bent. And I think that is just due to the amount of force I was putting through it, trying to get it to lift a robot. Obviously, this thing wasn't working fully on its own. There was a little base block here. So this sat on here, that sat in there, and the base block did hold a little bit of the weight of this back section here, a little bit of that cantilever. But when I was pulling on something, everything was trying to tilt this way, and obviously there was no support for this kind of useless motor mount now that I really look at it. So obviously this needs an upgrade, and that's where this video sponsor PCBWay comes in. They have provided two awesomely machined aluminium parts. These are a front and back bracket for our motor, so I can slide the motor very nicely in here, and then I have the back bracket which I need to connect through so that everything can be locked to the frame nice and tight. These parts have come out absolutely beautifully. They have been machined very, very nicely. Even these internal pockets that I thought were going to be a bit of a challenge have come out very, very well, and everything just like locks together and lines up super nicely. I'm very, very happy with how these parts have come together, and I'm so keen to get them into the robot and test this out, because I think these are going to make a huge difference to the amount of force that we can get out of the arm. Before we get to that though, and put this whole assembly back in the robot with those new machined parts, I also want to fix the retaining of the gear. So there is a gear that slots over the D shaft here and just kind of sits in there. It was retained last time by having washers on the back, like so, the gear sliding over the shaft like so, and then a very, very thin shim of metal, which you can barely even see on camera, wedged in the gap just here. And then this was glued in place literally with super glue. I pushed that all the way down in there and then super glued it to the shaft, and that is what kept everything together. This worked kind of okay, but could wiggle itself free. Super glue is fine, but doesn't stick to metal super well. So I want to put a retaining bolt in the end of this arm, and we're going to do that with a printed jig. And here's our little jig now. This is exactly the same as how I did this for the drive of this robot last year. Effectively, the jig prints up with the D shaft in it. You can slot the motor on there and then cut or drill a 3mm drill through here. Except for this time, I am attempting to go all the way through the motor shaft, not just kind of divot the front, because I really want to be able to put a 3mm bolt all the way through to stop that weapon gear from moving in any way at all. So there we go, we have a hole. And look, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not perfect. It's not exactly in line how I wanted it to, but it does take a 3mm bolt absolutely fine, and that's realistically all I need it to do. So we should be able to now load up our stack up here as we've done before. I'm gonna use one metal washer in this stack up this time, and then we should be able to put this bolt in. And now, that's not going to go anywhere. Beautiful. That is great. I might even put another washer just between the bolt and that, just to make that a little bit nicer. And kind of compress the stack down if I can. Oh yeah, perfect. All right, that is a tight, snug fit. And then we've got enough space to put a lock nut on the bottom, and that is not gonna go anywhere. I mean, I still need my little metal shim. That helps just keep everything on the shaft, but it's now not the locking feature, which is really, really good. That is gonna work so much better than it did before. Of course, I've had to pull all of that off because I jumped the gun a little bit and I did not put on our fancy new aluminium plate that holds everything in place. Now, the bolts that I have here are countersink bolts. These are not the bolts I'll use eventually. These are just going to be for a test. These are the ones I used on the original design because I thought I needed them flush with the faceplate, but I really actually don't. So I'm going to get some proper button head ones or a different type of head, because countersink heads are not what you want on a faceplate like this, and I really don't want to countersink this very nice machined part because I don't need to. So I'm just going to buy, well, I have already bought new bolts that are on their way. They're just not quite here yet. So we're going to use the old countersunk bolts for now, and I'll replace these before competition day. All right, we're going to do this in close-up this time. So it's metal washer first, and then a couple of plastic washers, about that many. And then we put on the gear, and then I need to find my shim. Ah, yes, my shim is in my locking pliers. That gets fed in the gap. We remove the locking pliers and feed that even more, as much as we possibly can, like so. And then we get our bolt that retains everything, feed that through, push the shim back. So the bolt head goes past, that goes down, flip everything round, and put a nylock on the back. And yes, you can get M3 nylocks. These things are very, very cool. I may not actually be hitting the nylon on the nylock though. That's slightly problematic. I'll have to get a bigger M3. We do have a little bit more space that we can use for an M3 here. So that's fine. I'll get a bigger M3 just so that that bolt doesn't come out. Although, given all the tension in this system now, I don't think that bolt is ever coming out of there, to be perfectly honest. Even if this nut loosens up, I think that that is going to stay exactly where it is and not let anything move. So that is perfect. Finally, of course, we need to put the new back brace on. Now, this back brace is basically relying on this brushless motor shroud being here. It is just an ABS print, but this ABS part should be fairly sturdy because it's being held compressed, and it doesn't actually need to really do anything other than be a spacer which holds these two bolts, and these bolts are the things actually running most of the tension, and these are going to fit perfectly in our predefined bolt holes back through our little shroud, and then back over the top again, like so. I do probably need to get a couple of extra longer bolts. Maybe I should find some of those. These ones work still, but they are just a little bit short now because, of course, there is extra material or extra bolt length being taken up by this back plate. But they still thread in and bite and everything. And I will again probably actually update these and add some Loctite to them before we go ahead and fight Strange Young Man. But yeah, there you go. Now, sits down nice. We can bolt it into everywhere it needs to bolt into, and this is going to be rock solid and really stable in the robot. And hopefully that means that the lifter actually works this time. So it slots back in really, really well. I'll show you this other side in a minute, but for right now, what we need to do is put two bolts in here to hold the front side down, which is easier done with it hanging off the table like this. There we go. One there, and I'll just finger tight a lock nut on that, and we'll get that tightened down in half a second. Just don't want it to go anywhere when I stop touching it. And this guy needs to move a little. There we go. Everything just kind of gets lined up by eye until the bolt finally decides to go up through like that. Beautiful. There is not a lot of room in here. This whole thing is like millimeters away from each other. Again, I'll show you that in just half a second. And then at the back, got another couple of bolts, and I'm just going to flick the whole robot around, like so that I can get access to these bolt holes at the back. You probably can't see what I'm doing anymore, unfortunately, because it's hard to get a good angle on this. So obviously need to tighten these bolts down yet, but you can see our Hardox gears here are interfacing exactly where they need to. Everything looks good there. There's a tiny little bit of wiggle backlash in our main gearbox, and also just a tiny amount in our gears as well, but that is totally fine. So I guess I had better snug these bolts down, bolt everything else back up, and then we'll try a test. All right, we are ready for the test. I have two robots that together are about 13.9 kilos duct taped together on the arms of Strange Young Man here. I am standing pretty far back with safety glasses on, further back than the camera. I am on my lavalier microphone so that I can talk while I'm doing this. But I don't really want to say too much more. This is a setup is basically the best as it possibly can be. Most of the weight of the two robots is well over the forks. If it does not lift in this position, it basically will never lift. So, crossing my fingers and toes, 3, 2, 1. Well, that's something. I want to try that one more time. Okay, so we've got a different setup this time. This should be a tip setup. If this goes well, it should just topple the thing over sideways. Again, we'll see what we get. 3, 2, 1. I mean, kind of. So that went pretty well, about as well as I kind of expected it to go. Unfortunately, Strange Young Man does have the problem of being a round the body lifter with the axle point in the middle, which means that trying to lift something that is exactly the same weight as you, more than likely what happens is you tip forwards quite significantly. That is what we saw here. That is what I saw in the Roller PG fight, which is the only fight from last year I actually managed to get a proper lift in. All the rest of the fights, something broke in the weapon system. So I think now though, we've got all of those kind of issues worked out, so we should be able to lift people a little bit. I'm gonna have to pick my shots a little bit better. I'm probably gonna have to like lift people right on the edge of the forks and just kind of tilt them more than I lift them. Maybe some small pontoons or something out the front will actually help and allow me to like keep at least the front two wheels on the ground while I'm lifting somebody. I don't know yet. I will think about that. If you have some ideas on how to stop that tilting thing without redesigning the whole robot, because of course that is probably what I need to do, is realistically move the arms back a little bit away from the midpoint. That'll of course allow for more weight to hit the front wheels and it won't tip as much, hopefully. That is kind of where I want Strange Young Man to go. If this chassis survives Havoc this year, it will probably end up being turned into a Hammerbot full time because it won't have that kind of tilting issue with weight. And we've already seen that it would work with a smaller, faster gearbox in it on the weapon system. That would work absolutely fine. But yeah, if you have any quick ideas I can try to stop that tilting problem, please leave them in the comments down below. Other than that, I hope you have enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next video.